said that that would work. Good evening. My name is Sharon Rodriguez, and I am honored to be with all of you this evening. Talking a bit about myself is not an easy thing. I tend to stammer when I'm nervous, so bear with me. Currently, I am the Family Support Associate at Malden Catholic School for Girls, one of the handful of roles I've held under the Archdiocese of Boston. My most important role, however, is that of mother to my two girls, Gabby and Bella, who is a current 9th grader at Malden Catholic. I, myself, am also the product of a Catholic school education. My parents, both Central American, deeply rooted in their faith, prioritized the Catholic education for my two sisters and I, working multiple jobs to make that a reality. All three of us were sent to St. Rose in Chelsea, and I then went on to continue my education at Pope John High School in Everett. Inspired by my parents' sacrifices, thank you, I knew that when I became a mom, I too would try to do the same for my children. I have been blessed and fortunate enough to send both of my daughters to Catholic schools. But when circumstances felt tough on my family, while my youngest was in the 1st grade, her then principal told me not to worry, that the Catholic Schools Foundation would do what they could. She could not have been more right. Because of their help, Bella was able to graduate from St. Rose School and is a current CSF scholarship recipient at Malden Catholic. We've seen and heard this story countless times. Because of the generosity of the Inner City Scholarship Fund and its many donors, thousands of kids have been able to receive a better start in life through a Catholic education. Which brings me to Julian. Julian Delgado is a senior at St. John's Prep, who is a prime example of what can come with the support of the Inner City Scholarship Fund. As you will see from this video, the support of the ICSF has forever positively changed his life and that of his family.
A core aspect of Xaverian education and what our focus is educating the whole person. It's a transformational experience, and for different students, that transformation is going to happen in different ways. For families of low socioeconomic status and poverty, that transformation is really trying to help those families break the grasp of poverty and create a new chapter in their lives through the power of education. Our gratitude to the Catholic Schools Foundation is extraordinary. We started this initiative to really broaden and enhance the diversity at St. John's about 15 years ago.
We have a term here, servant leadership. So even though you're, the decision maker, you're also involving other people. Well, they become citizens that would use that lens, would use that power that they might have to improve the quality of lives of other people wherever they find themselves.
I brought Julian here because I have a child that has muscular dystrophy. I had a great job. Julian used to go to Catholic schools and I used to pay for it. Matthew required a lot of my needs, and financially I couldn't afford private school anymore.
We started 17 years ago with a group of local donors in the community who wanted to make a difference in Lawrence. We were able to start our school using 3 trailers in the back parking lot.
It was a safe environment, it was a Catholic environment. He was gonna get a great education. There was no questions for me. I had to have him here.
They come from some really tough conditions, good families. They want to learn. I come here and I get to teach. They get the importance of what we're doing here and what a school like Bellassini, the benefits are great. And they get to see alumni who are success stories.
While being at the prep, Julian has also taken opportunities that are available to him. For example, he went on a trip to Guatemala where he was involved with Habitat for Humanity.
He was granted this free education at Bellasini Academy. And then when he went to St. John's Prep, that was a gift as well, because he's there on a scholarship. It was the Guatemala trip. He came back with nothing in his suitcase. I remember asking him, Julian, where are your clothes? And he said, Mom, those kids had nothing and they were happy. And I knew then that everything was gonna be okay because he had become that kid that I really wanted him to become, to be grateful for everything in life.
And I think that's what Julian and his family have been able to do here at the prep for the last 4 years. We are so much better. They have enriched our school community, and we have gained so much from them.
I absolutely believe Julian will make a difference in this world. He's gonna make a mark in this world. I know it's gonna be something big.
Isn't that interesting that this kid, who just like me is from Lawrence and raised in Lawrence and has certain challenges that I haven't had, he has a power that I didn't have when I was his age. And I'm grateful for him because he gives me hope for not the future, he gives me hope for the present.
We are a better school because of the young men that the Catholic Schools Foundation has provided the means to attend St. John's. When you look at philanthropy to support students, it is one of the most amazing investments that one can make. They're not only investing in today's students and changing their lives and providing a transformational experience, they're providing a model for them so that when these students are doing well, they're going to remember that others created this pathway for them, and they're going to remember their responsibility to create the pathway for those that follow them.
Good evening. Bishop Ugliero, Mr. Lynch, Mr. Judge, Mr. Reardon, and all present here this evening, my name is Julian Delgado Figueroa. It is an honor to be here with you to express the gratitude I have for the Catholic Schools Foundation. Not only did you make my Catholic education possible, you made my college dreams a reality. And the best part, I am just one of 4,000 lives you have changed. In 7th grade, I was featured in the video at this dinner. Little did I know it would end up being the most important connection I would make. Since then, my aspirations and dreams have completely changed, but one thing has stayed the same: my appreciation for and the necessity of the Inner City Scholarship Fund. Growing up in Lawrence came with a lot of preconceived notions and natural challenges. In Lawrence, single parenthood is the norm. I grew up with kids bringing bullets and knives to school in just the 2nd grade. I occasionally woke up to the electricity being cut off or not having any hot water. Seeing my mom constantly struggle to care for me and my 2 brothers with no help whatsoever was the norm. It was always simple things, like having to load all 3 of us in a car just to grab some milk for the week. But it was also the harder things, like rushing us out of the house and out of Lawrence in fear of the gas explosions. Having friends from Lawrence today who are getting locked up for stupid acts of crime, like stealing or drug-related charges, only because they lack opportunities, is more common than not. With this culture and environment being the norm, I desperately needed an escape, which my mom helped me find. This escape became Blessed Stephen Bellasini Academy in Lawrence. Now, my mom did an amazing job selling me the school. She kept telling me how it's going to help me get into a good high school, and how the school had all these after-school activities, and how I was going to play basketball and soccer. She sold me Bellasini during my whole 4th grade year. there was just one little detail she intentionally hid from me. Bellasini was all boys at the time. She really had me all excited about going, and I only found out it was an all-boys school once I sat down in my interview with Ms. DiFilippo. Going in at 5th grade, I didn't know what to expect. I was never in a school with structure before. I had actual homework for once. Bellasini became the training ground for me to be successful at St. John's. With the help and hard work from Bellasini, I found out about my acceptance and full scholarship to the academically challenging St. John's, with the Catholic Schools Foundation naming me a member of the first class of Gershner Scholars. Like always, turns out my mom was right when she said Bellasini was the opportunity I needed. Getting ready to start my freshman year at St. John's was exciting, but the first month hit me like a truck. It was a complete reality shock. I was actually the minority. I have always been Latino, obviously, and of lower socioeconomic status, but so was everyone else in Lawrence. Now, I was one of only a few who were either Latino or of lower socioeconomic status. St. John's was where I learned how to embrace who I am and how to make an impact because of who I am. Through the Multicultural Affairs and Community Development Office, I have been able to find my leadership roles and voice on campus. I have hosted numerous workshops and events which have all shaped me into the leader I am. A 10-day service trip to Guatemala opened my eyes in a way that is still fueling my passion for social justice work today. The trip showed me how fortunate I am to say I'm from Lawrence. I still remember the kindergarten faces of Marcus and Minor asking me stories about the U.S. as if it was a mythical land. I was just a kid from Lawrence, and now, well, I'm still just a kid from Lawrence. But my environment no longer defines me. It motivates me. I was beginning to become a product of my environment, but now I'm a leader of it. I learned how to embrace my identity and how to serve as a model for good in both my communities of Lawrence and at St. John's. After my 4 years, I'm leaving with more than just an education. I'm leaving with an identity that I'm proud of. I'm leaving with college or reality. So all I can say is thank you. Thank you to Bellasini Academy for giving me my first opportunity at a stable education and for believing in kids from Lawrence when we didn't have other places to turn. Thank you to St. John's for never giving up on me when my life outside of school turned upside down. But most importantly, thank you for providing me with a supportive community to unlock my full potential as a student, but also as a person. To my family, my friends, and everyone back home in Lawrence, thank you. All of you helped shape me into who I am today. But most of all, thank you, Mommy. You've made sacrifices for us, and none of this would be possible without you. I hope I've made you, Brandon, and Matthew proud. Before the ICSF, you mainly just wanted the best for your kids. But now, you've actively provided the best for your kids. Te lo agradezco todo, y yo sé que tú pasas por mucho trabajo por nosotros. Y aunque a veces somos vaguitos, de verdad que nada es posible sin ti. Algún día te vamos a dar el mundo entero. All right, now I know what everyone's thinking. What college is this kid going to? Well, only because you asked. After being admitted to over 10 colleges, including Providence, UMass Amherst, Boston University, Loyola Maryland, and Emory University, I will be attending the College of the Holy Cross in Worcester. The last thing I want to leave you with this evening is a small challenge to everyone in this room. Maybe many of you may have thought of Lawrence as a city of kids caught up in the worst of situations. But now, I want you to also think of the leaders and role models like me when you think of Lawrence. All they need is a chance, like you have given me. So what will that gift of an opportunity look like? Thank you. Thank you.
So this is the reason we're all out here tonight. Students like Julian, students like Amanda, who we heard from earlier, and there are thousands more like them all across Greater Boston. Julian, thank you for sharing your story tonight. I know a couple of Holy Cross alum who will also be happy to hear that. So, and the support that you provide tonight truly makes a difference in his life, the lives of 4,000 students. I know that Jim Judge, who you see up here, who's joined me on stage, is going to share some good news about the success of tonight's dinner when he comes up here. But I think we can still do more tonight, and we have a feature that will help you enable to do that. Our honoree, Dick Connolly, and his wife Anne Marie have been leaders of this event, supporters of the Inner City Scholarship Fund for decades, and again, Dick and Anne Marie have committed $50,000 to support these students. $50,000. Yes, it deserves a round of applause. I'd love to see if we, the rest of us in the audience, can collectively match their support. So we have a text to give feature tonight. If you're here as a guest of someone perhaps and haven't had a chance to give, now's your chance. It's live. It's pretty easy, although I am going to follow the instructions pretty closely here. So take out your phone, open up the messaging app, and here's what you do. You can open up a new text message, and the text number is 41444. 41444. After you type that, in the body of the text, you are going to want to type ICSF, Inner City Scholarship Fund. I'm going to do that here as I'm trying to read, so I'm reading and text messaging at the same time. Do a space, the amount that you want to give, and then your name. You can do your first name, your whole name, whatever you like. And then, that's it. I'm going to do it now to get things started. And let's see, I think we have these thermometers up here. We do. There we go. So again, 41444, ICSF, space, the amount you want to give, space, and your name. Now, my name should be up there. I think it's up there somewhere. So again, if you're a guest tonight, now's an opportunity, and every dollar amount, be it $25, $50, $100, truly makes a difference in the lives of some of the students that you've met and heard from here tonight, and it would allow us to match the generosity that's been provided here tonight by so many, including Dick and Anne Marie Connolly. So again, 41444, make that happen. We'll keep the thermometers up for a bit as I introduce our dinner chair for the evening, Jim Judge. That name may be familiar. He's the CEO of Eversource, but more importantly for tonight, he's a graduate of St. Peter's in Dorchester and Catholic Memorial in West Roxbury. Jim Judge, everybody.
How the hell do I follow Amanda and Julian? I mean, that's so unfair. Thank you, Ben. Bishop Uglietto, thank you for joining us this evening, and thank you all for supporting the Inner City Scholarship Fund. Special thanks to my colleagues at Eversource vendors, friends and family who are here. I'm blessed and so fortunate to have my parents here, Jim and Kay Judge. Thank you both for instilling in me the importance of faith and giving me the lasting gift of a Catholic education. You know, with my financial background, I'm used to focusing on the bottom line, so I'll start with a few noteworthy numbers. First, the goal for tonight's event, tonight's gala, we were targeting to hopefully reach $3 million. With all your generosity, I'm thrilled to report that we've exceeded the target by 20%, raising just under $3.6 million tonight. And I'm sure the cell phones are clicking, and we will have more than that. This is the highest fundraising level in the long history of this event. So congratulations, all of you. Thank you. On behalf of myself, my great committee, the Catholic School Foundation staff, or more importantly, on behalf of the inner city students, I offer the biggest thank you for helping this vital cause. I also want to give out a shout to the Young Leaders Committee, co-chaired by my son, Sean Judge of Highland Capital Partners, and Kelly O'Donoghue of Wellington, who really delivered. Just a great job, guys. Thank you. It's worth focusing on some of the Inner City Scholarship Fund's key operating metrics to remind ourselves of what kind of impact you're making with your giving. Last year, the fund awarded 4,000 scholarships, supporting students in 84 quality schools. 90% of the dollars that you give go directly to the fund's programs, where they'll be used to enhance education and opportunity for children who need it the most. And just a remarkable 98% of scholarship recipients, like Julian, will go on to attend college, extending their education and creating brighter futures for themselves and their families. Now, chairing tonight's event makes me think back to my own school days. I'm proud to say that my wife Mary and I both attended 12 years of Catholic education, 12 years of Catholic school here in Boston. Both of us attended St. Peter's Elementary School in Dorchester. Yeah, that's Dorchester with an H at the end, intentionally. When high school came around, I could have attended Boston College High School. Just 2 stops on the Red Line, literally 15 minutes from my home. But Catholic Memorial High School saw something in me and offered me a scholarship. So I took a bus, a train, a trolley, a bus, and another bus every morning, spending over an hour to get to school, and obviously the same routine to get home after school got out. So why go to those lengths? Well, the financial support of the scholarship certainly was appreciated by my family. But to me, the scholarship was really a vote of confidence. People believed in me and trusted that I would succeed. I wanted to prove that their faith in me was well placed. When we talk about scholarships today to the Catholic schools, we have to keep that in mind. Sure, financial assistance is critical to these families. These folks that you support, 63% of them come from homes that have a single parent. But the scholarship means so much to them personally. It's a vote of confidence from others that can mean the world to these students. You can't say enough what that support means to a child, how hard that child will work when they know that others care enough to invest in their future. Combine that determination with the excellent quality education, and you can see how a program like the Inner City Scholarship Fund cultivates and empowers the leaders of tomorrow. You can see the fruits of that support in tonight's student speaker, Julian, and our student performer, Amanda, who were just outstanding. You can see it in tonight's honoree, Dick Conley. Dick and his wife, Anne-Marie, both proud products of the Catholic schools. He's a successful business leader. Dick continues to support so many philanthropic causes to help our community. Whether it's Catholic Charities, the Symphony, his alma mater, Malden Catholic, Inner City Scholarship Fund, the list goes on and on. I can think of no one no one more deserving of tonight's honor than Dick Conley. And now let me take just a minute to introduce our next speaker, President Emeritus of the Inner City Scholarship Fund, Peter Lynch. Peter's unparalleled business success with Fidelity Investments is nothing short of legendary. We all know the story. For more than a decade, Peter's results doubled the performance of the S&P 500, making his Magellan Fund the best performing mutual fund in the world. But in my view, what Peter has done with the Inner City Scholarship Fund may be his greatest legacy. He has championed this cause since 1991, introducing people to the work of the fund and never wavering in his commitment to these students. The number of children whose futures have been brightened by Peter's generosity, his leadership, his support, must number upwards of 100,000. So Peter may be known to many as a creator of wealth, but for so many children, he's been a creator of opportunity. Ladies and gentlemen, to present the Carolyn and Peter Lynch Award, please join me in welcoming my friend, Peter Lynch.
Thank you. Thank you. That was sweet. As Jack Connors would say, Jim, don't you have anything else to say nice about me? The man demeanor, that was amazing. Julian was at our apartment a couple weeks ago. I still haven't recovered. I was still crying from hearing him 2 weeks ago, and I'm still breaking up now. But I want to talk about Jahira. Yeah, her mother, his mother. I mean, what a story of a mom. What she did to raise two kids. Jahira, you're the superstar tonight. I think Julian, what you said to her was so special. So I want to thank a lot of people, but first of all, I want to talk about what we're here all the time now, income inequality. And now we're less than a year away from the primaries, hear more about it. And all these people keep talking about it. I'm not an expert. They keep talking about cures, but what are some of the causes? To me, being a dropout's a cause, not being able to speak English is a cause, being illiterate is a cause, having no self-confidence, no self-esteem. I think those contribute to not being in the upper quartile. You're sort of destined if you're a dropout, or if you're illiterate, or you have no self-esteem, you're destined to be in the bottom quartile. Why don't we deal with the causes? Well, the Inner City Scholarship Fund, our schools are giving kids a great education. We have 35 different languages at home. 35 different languages spoken at home. As Jim mentioned, 63% of single parents receive scholarships. They learn about discipline. They have a great education. They also learn about moral and spiritual guidance. They learn about self-respect. They learn about love. That's what our schools do. I want to thank Mike Reardon, the executive director, does such a great job. His team, Catholic Schools Foundation, what they've achieved. Special thanks to my group, my special group that does all our begging. Shirley Lepori, Robert Saoud, and Deb Eagle. We start dialing for dollars in June, and we did a couple today. And Channel 5, all the way back to Jim Coppersmith, Paul LaCamera, Bill Fine. Our first 5 dinners was Chet Curtis and Allie Jacobson. And Ben Simino, you've continued. Channel 5's been with us the whole time. WCVB, they're the best. And also, easiest ask I ever had was asking Jim Judge to chair this. I mean, he was so easy, you guys. I mean, he was so willing to do this. He was so excited about doing it. And he runs a rather large company 3.6 million people depend on him for electricity and gas. In the middle of all this, another firm, not his firm, had problems in Lawrence just by coincidence, but it went all the way to North Andover. Terrible gas problems. They call in Jim Judge and Eversource to solve it. These guys work 24 hours a day. They were better one day later, better 1 week later. Eversource did it. That's in the middle of this campaign. Things went bad all over the North Shore. Eversource came to the rescue with Jim Judge in a white hat, and we worked it. And there's some special people in the audience. I'd like to first start off with the teachers from the Urban Catholic Teachers Corps. They're usually, are they somewhere in the back here? Come on, where are they? Come on, stand up. There they are, way over here. For 20 years, these are teachers. They're getting their master's degree at night. They're going to school in the summer. They're all undergraduate or education specialists. They're working full-time, and they don't commute like 1 foot away. They have to go commute, someone like Jim Judge's commute to get to where they have homework to do tonight. So they do the study at night, during the summers, get their master's degree, and we're in our 20th year of this, and 11 of the 13 graduating this year are going to stay in Boston in Catholic schools, and they graduate with their master's degree. I'd like to have all the teachers, all the principals, all the pastors, all the women religious, all the people involved in our schools, could they just stand up because they make it work? All the administration. Come on, all the school people, come on. I also want to thank all the past co-chairs, all the people that serve in this committee. This that Mike Reardon has led, we're talking dozens of people have called, dozen people to make this work. And they're all here tonight, and we're hoping, I'm especially like the people who have been here for 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20, 25 years, and 29 years. You know, Sister Janet's here somewhere. She's been here for 29 years. Where's Emmanuel's sweetheart? The best college in the world, Emmanuel College. Mike mentions, but I want to give a special thank you to Kathy Mears, who's in the last 5 years, what she's done as superintendent of schools. I wish she was here for another 10, but she has to go back to Indiana. Hope she's not going to root for the Pacers in the next couple of weeks, but that's another basketball team. But what we've achieved, and we're going in the right direction. Our schools are really strengthened. Kathy, I'm so excited what you've achieved, and you've been so impactful. Now, right before I introduce our great honoree, I want to talk about our annual bus trip. We have 3 or 4 buses. A lot of people in this room have done it. I think it'll be the best 2 hours you do this year. We're going to Revere, see Immaculate Conception School, to see an elementary school, to see a 3-year-old, see a 4-year-old, see a 5-year-old, see a 3rd grader, see a 6th grader. These kids are amazing. They don't miss a day of school. They come to school every day. They come to school sick, they don't miss. They have uniforms, 2 sweaters, 2 shirts, 2 ties, 2 blouses, 2 skirts. They love it. And you go to see this school, and this is free. This trip is free, no cost. You either go to Revere or we buses to leave from Boston. Had a great lunch. You'll see one of our schools. Take somebody along. Everybody sees this as what our schools are like. And if you want to see any of the schools, Mike Reardon send up trips all the time to see any of our schools. When you see our schools, you see what we're doing. We're talking about St. John's Prep, which is a spectacular school. You got to see Lawrence Academy in Lawrence. I'm 75. The school's a lot older than I am. Lawrence Academy is doing an incredible job with young kids in Lawrence. Central Catholic in Lawrence is doing a great job. So you see one of these schools and you're bitten. You've got it. So keep it up. And tonight I want to talk about Dick Connolly. Where is that great guy? Oh, somewhere here. We've had over a dozen chairs of this event since I still do the same thing. We just had new people. I still beg for dollars, but we get more people pulling on oars. And we've had over a dozen people do this in the last 12 years. This is the first time we ever had an honoree and the chair from Catholic school. We mentioned earlier Jim St. Peter's, Catholic Memorial in West Roxbury, St. Charles in Woburn, Malden Catholic. And, you know, it's incredible to have that combination. As my grandchildren would say, that's super neato. That's that's big today. That's not Fortnite or Minecraft. That's good stuff. So Dick and I share, if you look in the book, you'll see Dick started caddying at 8. I started caddying at 11. It's a great job being a caddy because you learn all these moral messages from, it's amazing how the men think the caddy's not listening. So you're going along and they're talking about that person drinks too much, or they admire this person that really works hard, and this person's a fool. The women don't say a damn thing. They're boring. They're nice people, but they never tell any stories. And being a caddy is amazing because here you are, your whole life you learn from your parents, you learn from your teacher, you learn from coaches. Here you are a caddy, and you tell somebody, if you miss this one, don't miss it left. Or I think I'd hit a 6-iron, not a 5. You sort of flatter them. You start clapping near the end. But imagine what it does for you when you're right. You say, listen, it looks like it's going to break left. It's a lot less break than you think. Imagine what it does for you as a 12-year-old, 15-year-old, or 18-year-old be a caddy and helping somebody. Well, Dick and I were lucky enough to be caddies. He started earlier than I did. He also gets to work earlier more than I do, too. So he's Mr. It. So he started in Woburn Country Club. I started at Brayburn. We both got Francis Weeman scholarships to college. He went to college at Holy Cross. I went to Boston College. That's for needy kids. So we know about getting scholarships for needy kids. And it's amazing how what he's done for, you know, it's in the book. I mean, all the things he's done for everybody. And what's great about going to Holy Cross is that Anne Marie, when I went co-ed, she's about 30 years younger than Dick, but when she got to the College of Holy Cross, they met later at a president's dinner, and now, what a deal. I was lucky enough to have an amazing spouse for life, and Dick, you got Anne Marie, what a deal. She's amazing, what a bride. The book, in the program tonight, and Jim mentioned some of those things, there's so many things, we highlight a few of them in the book. I hope there's some pictures, some books of Dick Conley up here. I got those from Anne Marie. Are they showing Anne Marie, the pictures we showed? He's got little Dick as a kid. I hope that's showing up. I can't see anything, but it's just the biggest lights I've ever seen in my life. He looks really cute as a kid, though, didn't he? So what he's done, and his son Ryan has been involved, their son Ryan's been involved in the young professionals group, a leader. So there's so many charitable events he's supported, and he's been at this thing since it started. He's one of the top 1% financial advisors in the world. The head of Morgan Stanley every day is glad that Dick Conley's coming to work. I mean, that makes a difference to Morgan Stanley and the people that Dick's helped financially with their advice. Just an amazing person. He's a good friend of mine for over 3 decades, and it's really a profound pleasure to give the Carolyn Peter Lynch Award to a wonderful person, Dick Conley.
You wonder why he's been successful, huh? People ask me all the time about, you know, great money managers, and you hear the name Warren Buffett constantly, and as my friends and the people that work with me, I tell them I think the greatest money manager in the history of this country is my good friend, Peter Lynch. And all you have to do is look at the record. Bishop Uglieto, thank you for coming. I want to thank everybody in the room for showing up this evening. Joe O'Donnell just told me that there were 12 people in the room that came to see me. Peter, thanks for your kind words and the vision that you and Carolyn shared to make a Catholic education possible for low-income students in Boston. I am honored and humbled to stand before you this evening as a recipient of the Carolyn Peter Lynch Award. I also wish to thank Jim Judge and the committee for their work in making tonight's dinner so successful. And always to recognize our good friend, Cardinal Sean. Although he was called to Rome and not able to be with us tonight, I want to thank him for his efforts and leadership in Catholic education. And to all of you in the audience tonight, thank you for responding to the call to support this amazing work. We could not do it without you. The generosity in this room is amazing. I've watched many of the people in this room give and give and give, and even ask to support when they're not asked. And that's a real credit to the city we live in and the people in this room. For many of us in this room, our Catholic education played an important role in shaping our lives. The room was filled with people who are grateful for the opportunity that our parents gave us so many years ago. I am grateful every day to my parents, Ruth and Dick Conley. And I have to say a little bit about both of them. My father was a World War II guy. My mother was one of 10, the only girl, and 7 of her brothers, get this now, 7 of her brothers served in World War II, all at the same time. So that's the heritage that I came from. And when I talk about my father, I say my father never saw the north side of $15,000. I couldn't put his shoes on the best day I ever lived, in any category. It is both a privilege and an obligation to pay back in any way that we can. The Inner City Scholarship Fund provides the way forward to so many children. Our student speaker, Julian Delgado, shared his incredible journey with us, and Amanda Mina shared her amazing talent with us. You look at those 2 young people, and that's why we support this dinner, because those are the people, those are the youngsters that we're turning out. You know, the poise both of these people have is mind-boggling. I was very happy to hear Julian say that, didn't really make Peter too happy, but Julian said, I'm going to be going too, and he emphasized the College of the Holy Cross. I have a lot of friends in the audience from St. Charles Grammar School in Woburn, where I went, Malden Catholic High School, where I went, and Holy Cross College. And some people would tell you that if I didn't go to Malden Catholic, I'd probably be in jail. Who knows? I also want to recognize our teachers. These men and women transform lives every day and provide a rigorous academic experience steeped in moral values. Also, I'd like to recognize the parents of our Catholic school students. You have made a big sacrifice to entrust your children to the teachers and administrators of our schools. Together, we are a partnership. Teachers, parents, and all faith communities working together in the formation of our children. Just an aside, too, the bus ride that Peter talks about is fabulous. Mike Reardon sets them up, and when you go to these schools, you walk away with a great, great feeling. And as Peter said, you'll get a nice lunch, too. To the students who are with us this evening, I hope that you will never forget the opportunities that you were given and will help to make Catholic education accessible for generations to come. And finally, to my good friend Peter Lynch, Your success in finance pales in comparison to your success in transforming the lives of inner city students. Your ability to attract so many people to support the Inner City Scholarship Fund will be your lifelong legacy, and for this we will always be grateful. Thank you.
Let's hear it once again for Jim Judge, Peter Lynch, Dick Connolly, Mary Judge, and Marie Connolly, who are here tonight as well. Congratulations, everybody, on such a successful evening. Before I introduce our Young Leader Chair, I'd like to check in to see how we're doing on the matching the generosity of Dick and Anne Marie Connolly tonight. If we can get the number, do we have a number yet? $126,000 already at this point, so we're well beyond the match. But let's keep it going here in the last couple minutes we have together this evening. Thank you to everybody who's responded so generously. The students of the Inner City Scholarship Fund are our future, as Amanda sang about so eloquently earlier. They need our help to receive the education and the opportunities that so many of us were fortunate to be born with in life. Please consider making that gift or increasing your gift as the evening continues tonight. Hopefully we'll see that thermometer keep rising as I introduce the Young Leaders Dinner Committee Chair. That's Sean Judge. Sean's a product of Catholic schools as well. He's now a principal at Highland Capital Partners. He, along with his dinner co-chair, Kelly O'Donoghue from Wellington Investments, led a committee of young leaders in building support for a new generation of leaders. Please join me in welcoming Sean Judge.
Thank you, Ben. I had actually planned on singing tonight, but Amanda kind of stole my thunder there. So, on behalf of my co-chair, Kelly O'Donoghue, as well as the entire Young Leaders Committee, thank you for your presence here this evening and for your generous support of the Inner City Scholarship Fund. Tonight's honoree, Dick Connolly of the Connolly Group at Morgan Stanley, is an example to all of us young leaders. His commitment to charitable giving allows organizations like the ICSF to thrive and gives so many students the opportunities they richly deserve. To Dick and all those who are leading by example in terms of community involvement, thank you. I would also like to thank my father, Jim Judge, who chaired tonight's event. Anyone that's met my parents probably found out they went to St. Peter's within the first few minutes of meeting them. They were proud of the education they received there and then at MRM for my mother and Catholic Memorial for my father. And as a BC High grad, how someone could have pride in Catholic Memorial always puzzles me, but nevertheless he does. I, like my parents, am proud to call myself a product of Catholic education. BC High was a transformative experience for me. The rigorous academic curriculum and the wealth of sports and extracurricular activities provided me with structure and focus at a critical point in my life. The opportunity to participate in spiritual retreats formed the closest friendships I still have today. Learning the importance of giving back was a very big part of my experience at BC High, and the opportunity to help more students in the Commonwealth and attain a similar experience that I had is why I'm so excited to be here tonight. I've been fortunate enough to attend this event over the past few years, but this is my first year serving as a member of the Young Leaders Committee. The Young Leaders Committee was charged with raising $100,000 for the Inner City Scholarship Fund. We hosted a volunteer day at the Mission Grammar School and East Boston Central Catholic. It was a terrific turnout, and for those in the audience that are interested, we would love to have you join us next year. This has a real impact. As you've seen tonight, more students now have the opportunity to receive a life-changing education. 63% of these kids are from single-parent homes. 98% of these scholarship recipients will go on to a four-year college education. It's an incredible foundation. and your dollars are making a real difference in Massachusetts. Lastly, I'm thrilled to announce that we surpassed our $100,000 goal and raised over $135,000. So thank you for your continued generosity, and enjoy the rest of the evening. Thank you.
What an incredible evening this has been. And make no mistake, this work continues tomorrow and over the next 365 or so days until we meet here again around this time next year. Thank you to Sean Judge, his co-chair Kelly, all the young leaders out there. $135,000 is nothing to sneeze at, of course, and it's clear that the future of this organization is obviously in excellent hands. So I hope that you all leave here tonight truly experiencing that your generosity, your contributions have made a difference. 4,000 students this year alone. As someone mentioned, upwards of 100,000 in the near 30 years of the existence of this organization, the Intercity Scholarship Fund through the Catholic Schools Foundation. Before we go, there are two important announcements. Let's put the thermometers back up there. There is still time to text to give. It's easy. And any dollar amount will make a difference in that number. And every dollar goes to help some of the students that we met here tonight. The second announcement is, again, Peter mentioned this, the annual bus tour. It's going to Immaculate Conception School in Revere. It's May 7th. May 7th. You can see firsthand the impact of your support. The buses will leave downtown around 11:30. As Peter and Dick mentioned, there's lunch. You get back downtown around 2:30 or so. So it's an easy part of the day. You're in and you're out, and you can see some really incredible experiences. Mike Reardon does a great job with his organization and putting all that together. And one more date I will throw out there, it's not in the script, but that May 22nd is when Amanda's going to be with the Pops. So consider getting tickets on May 22nd to go see the Pops. Thank you, everybody, for coming tonight. Thank you again to the judges, the Connollys, Peter Lynch, as always, Mike for the great job he does. Have a great evening, drive safely, and we'll see you back here next year. Thank you.